Hello everybody, welcome to Civ House. I'm Rob, and we have some big news right before the launch of Civ 7, or if you're watching this maybe on the day of. There was a patch, a pre-launch patch, specifically 1.0.1 that was just put out, and there's some big things that I wanted to talk about with this, things that you'll be noticing in your games as well, and I'm going to try to do this, or Connor's going to try to do this, one of the two of us. Here at Civ House, we'll be trying to give you guys updates whenever we see anything of note, especially if there are patches or new updates. So, excited to be going over this. Please, if you feel so inclined though, make sure to leave a like if you end up enjoying this video, you find it to be useful, hopefully. And also make sure to subscribe because we are putting out new Civ 7 content specifically almost every single day, so we're gonna have a ton of new things coming out with the launch of Civ 7 as well, and I hope that you guys will join us for this journey. Also, make sure to let me know in the comment sections below if you think I missed anything, or if there are different aspects of this that you really think could be a little more significant than even I'm giving it credit for. We're gonna go through a lot of this stuff. I'm not gonna really do too much in terms of like the audio, video, or I don't know, we'll see about the miscellaneous. I've only read through a little bit of this, and then I was like, you know what, I should talk about this with you guys. So you're going to be hearing me kind of go through this, I don't know, at the same time as you might be. So let's start here at the all platforms general, notes here. The first one is, moving on to a bridge no longer ends a unit's movement. That's a pretty big deal. I'm kind of surprised that that was happening, but definitely seems like a little bug that they needed to address. Would feel really bad for your unit to have a lot more movement and then just, boom, bridge hits and it's over. It's especially not very realistic. Then they removed the -2 happiness social policy lost penalty when changing social policies during a celebration. I'm a little surprised by that. Maybe it was just something that was coming up in playtests that people just really didn't enjoy. I will admit I'm a little surprised by it, but it is something that, we'll have to see if that ends up playing a big role or if it's something that's just completely forgotten about as we continue moving on, because that is a big, I don't know, maybe not a big, but at least a little bit of a change when it comes to celebrations, as celebrations are coming back in a bigger and bigger way than I've even realized over the time that I've been studying up on stuff for Civ 7. Ports can now be built on navigable rivers. That is huge, by the way. I think that is really, really, really big, because if you have a navigable river that goes through your entire continent, having a port on that and being able to, I don't know, use it for the various different means of, ports, I think is a really big deal. And it offers a lot more protection as well. I think this might be one of the biggest things that are being changed, that are being added into the game with this patch, because let's be real, I think number one is that it is going to be very well protected. Now you can have a true river city, right? Instead of one that requires you to have a port that just goes straight into the open water. Very, very excited to see this and to be able to use this on day one. Updated growth thresholds to ensure that they never decrease. I don't really know exactly what that means, but it sounds like, city growth, right? And that these thresholds, they never decrease. I don't really know why you'd want that. I mean, cities sometimes do, decrease in growth, but maybe there's something that I'm missing since I've not had a chance to get my hands on the game yet. Maybe that was a big deal that they were seeing, or it was happening too often, so they decided to just axe it. So if you guys know more about any of these things than I do, please just feel free to let me know. Tiles impacted by nuclear fallout no longer produce yields. Makes a ton of sense to me. Probably just a slight oversight. There should be nothing growing, nothing available really for you if a nuke hits that area. No surprises there. Town upgrade costs now scale with game speed for better pacing. That is big. If towns were really just not scaling with how long the game was going to take, then that was going to probably make them just really, really, really overpowered, which I know towns were already very strong from what it sounded like. So this is a really nice patch as well. This is probably one of the other big ones, I would say, from the ones that I had already read ahead of time before I started recording this video. So big upgrade there. Or just, yeah, I would say big update, not upgrade. Obviously, it's kind of downgrading towns, but I think that makes more sense, especially if you're playing in longer games. And then relationships can no longer reach helpful while at war with another leader. So that is interesting. I guess I don't know why you wouldn't be able to be helpful with somebody if you're at war with somebody else. I feel like, especially in real life, that's not exactly true. I know, obviously, if you're just a warmonger, then maybe that could be an issue, to say the least. But I'm very surprised that they would take this out. Now, I don't know if it's maybe that they mean like you can't be helpful with somebody if they're the same kind of leader or like the same person or they're an ally of the person that you're attacking. That would make a lot of sense to me. But this one feels confusing and a little unrealistic, to say the least. Then we got AI updates here real quick. AI now prioritizes pillaging any available tiles before attacking a settlement center. That's surprising as well. That'll give you a little bit more time potentially to defend. I don't know if it's going to cost the same amount of actions or not. If it does, similarly to how it did in Civ 6, then yeah, this will be interesting. Pillaging is a great idea. It makes a ton of sense, but sometimes you do just want to sprint straight to the city center and try to take it. So a little surprised that they would have that being prioritized. AI leaders now accept and reject peace deals more appropriately. That's very good for all the people out there who enjoy the military aspect of this game, or even honestly people who don't and want their peace deals to be accepted maybe a little bit more frequently, right? And in a way that will allow you to, even if you have to overpay to get them to agree to end the war, at least it sounds like it's going to be more, appropriate at a minimum. Commander orders and group attacks now behave more consistently. That's probably good as well. I've heard that the AI, and I've read that the AI is a little bit confusing at times when it comes to war. I think that this is a big one that they need to make sure that they have down, especially as we continue on throughout the lifetime of this game. You're gonna need the the wartime stuff to be more not standard necessarily, not even predictable, but just at least it makes sense, right? Like, what move are they gonna make? It's not that they can't surprise you and do something completely out of the blue, but if you have one unit that's about to die and they attack another full health unit for absolutely no reason, that can be bad. And I know that there are some situations where you do leave, lower health units, but it's just like, I don't know, making the right decisions, especially for AI, have been pretty bad in past Civ games. I love seeing that they're adding this. Improved AI Navy ability to target plots on shore, so that's really good as well. You want them to kind of go up and down the coastline. This will be good for raiding, and a lot of other ways that can kind of cause you some issues. Another reason why you're going to want your ports up here in the navigable rivers to be, more well protected. Then you have improved AI to use migrant units if space is available. So, as the exploration age and all the other migrant parts of the game get added, you're going to want to, make sure that they are, I guess, appropriately using that, especially if space is available. But that's the big if. They're not just going to, settle, hopefully, or, move into weird spots. And I'm glad to see that. Now we move on here to the UI updates. This is one that a lot of people have had a problem with already, and I think that they've done a good job adding a couple things. Updated the minimap to show tile ownership by player. One of the big things that people were having a big issue with was that they were only showing the cities or the towns, like the main area, but not the expanded, I would say, just, actual amount of land that you own. You need this. This is important. The map needs to be pretty well detailed, and I'm surprised that they tried to do something that different. Just doesn't seem and feel very realistic. Then added a new information to the city detail screen that shows where a town is sending its food and what town a city is receiving food from. This is very big. Going into the game and not knowing where your town is getting or what city, the different food is going to from your towns, I think is a huge deal. especially if you have multiple cities, right? At the beginning, not that big of a deal. Later on in the game, though, you're going to want to manage that. I think that's really big, and I'm glad that they made that addition right before the game launches. Again, another one that I'm really surprised that they did not have from the start. Added auto unit cycle option to toggle on and off when a unit has remaining movement. This was something that I'd seen on Reddit as well. All of you lovely people out there making, I think, really good suggestions for the most part. This was one that needed to be added back into the game. Yes, maybe some people don't want to do that, and maybe it may slow down computers and, even potentially older systems at times, or even Nintendo Switches, right? But being able to toggle it on and off, I think, is a very big deal. Again, this is all platforms. This is not just PC. Added custom religion naming. I'm still surprised that there are, I think, no namings for just about anything else. But hey, at least for religion, if you don't want to use one of the already established ones and you want to name a religion after yourself or something funny, then you will be able to do that. Love that. Very nice little addition there. And then the last one, policy screen, now shows how many free slots are available. Again, another one that makes no sense. This is why it was not there from the start, but glad they are adding this. It's small updates, but guess what? This is a lot better. These are things that I think are going to be very important. I think these top two specifically are going to be very nice. I don't know, just ways for fans like us to be able to play the game better. So I'm glad, quality of life, I guess is the word, or the phrase I'm looking for. Big, nice quality of life updates. Still a lot of work left to do on the UI, but this is good. Narrative system here. Reward description clarified on multiple discovery events. Great. Glad to hear that. Clarification is always good, especially in a game that is as massive and as big as Civilization is. All legacy paths Civilopedia pages have been added to the Ages tab. Good if you need to look stuff up. That's what Civilopedia is for. So glad that they added something that, again, feels slightly like it should have been there from the beginning, but that's okay. It's added now, and this is technically the beginning for the rest of us who did not get the game early. Added Civilopedia entries for Ocean Exploration, Railroad, Specialist, Amphibious, Embark, Fortify, and Intercept. Great. Good additions here. Interesting that they're putting that under the narrative system, but that's good. We'll take that. System adjustments and performance. So this is for Windows people like myself. Improvements to leader lighting and shadows on high-end graphics setting. Wonderful. A lot of people complain about graphics on these games. I know the graphics aren't that important, but the ability for people like myself who have, stronger computers, we should be able to hopefully, enjoy the game and be able to enjoy the graphical settings that we spend our money on. So very glad to hear that and see that that's a possibility. Also, upscaling settings are now automatically configured based on PC hardware. Great. That means that we don't have to go through and try to figure it out ourselves. We just have it right here for us. It's going to do it for us. That doesn't mean that we can't push things up or bump things down, on our own, but it is good to know that it's going to do that, from the start. Then for all platforms, address a number of crash issues. Always great. Audio-visual stuff. If you really want to read those, great. Miscellaneous all platforms. Premium items obtained from the Deluxe and Founders Editions can be toggled on or off. Okay, that's great. So I'm confused as to why that wouldn't be there automatically, but maybe that's just because now that they're going to start releasing it, those are things that we're going to look. And then it just says general. No idea what general means, but hey, this is good. This is a great pre-launch patch. There are still a lot of things, especially UI-wise, probably AI-wise, and even some general things, general bugs and stuff that we are going to find when they have, thousands, hundreds of thousands of more people playing this game here over the next week or so. So I'm glad that they have this. I wouldn't be surprised if we get maybe one more patch sometime in the next week, especially on the 11th. This is for the people who are going to be playing on the 6th instead. I wouldn't be surprised if we get one more update here before the actual launch day on the 11th. And I think that there's probably a lot more that they want to do, but you can only, push out so many things in a patch. So I'm generally pretty happy with this. Let me know what you guys think about it. Again, if I missed anything or if there are things that maybe I didn't discuss in the way that you would have liked, please let me know what you guys think about that in the comments section below. But that's going to wrap it up for us on this, little patch update. So yeah, from our house to yours, we hope that you will join us for one more turn.